West Virginia to Tennessee. Live the shiners and blue collars, simple folk like you and me. If it falls, we let it lay. Just a story for another day. And if it grows, we grow it high. To the good Lord by and by. Way down in the holler.
I'm Johnny Ashley. We are in the Hood in the Woods in Radford, Virginia, and with my buddy Sam Lucas, and we are at La Riviera.
The Riviera, Ingalls Castle. One of the treasures of Radford, we call it. We're on the original property of Mary Draper Ingalls, who was captured by the Indians, and she escaped, and she traveled the river to get home. And after she escaped from captivity, they bought this property, which I think was like 7,000 acres. I could be wrong. And she built a house, a log cabin, which is about 2 miles up the river here. At one time was on this same farm. And this portion of the farm was Mary Draper Ingalls, Mary and William Ingalls. This was their son built their house here to the right of this house, and it also burned. It was built in the 1840s, and that's when Captain Billy built this house in 1892, and then it burned and he rebuilt it.
Go ahead. Thank you.
This is the cabin, a photograph, actual photograph of Mary Draper Ingalls' cabin up the river. Mary Ingalls and her husband William Ingalls built this cabin after she came back from being captured with the Indians. She followed the river home, and it has been rebuilt. And I built the chimney by myself to this cabin and the rocks from an old kitchen here. Which was a chimney that was on the ground. We rebuilt this cabin chimney back. The portrait is of Thomas Ingalls, and he was the grandson to Mary Draper Ingalls, and his wife, McClanahan Ingalls, is in this portrait, and they built their first home was in this spot, and it's their son that built this place, Captain Billy. Captain Billy is a great uncle that he never had any children, and when he died, he left this to my cousins, and they've all since have passed away now.
It stayed in the family the whole time?
And the house is still in the family, yes. We call him Captain Billy because he was he worked for the railroad and he was an engineer. We have a photograph, early photograph of Andrew Ingalls. Andrew Ingalls is the twin brother to Captain Billy, and this is Captain Billy's portrait. And he lived here and he died here, and his funeral was out in the yard in the river, on the river banks.
So tell us about how Captain Billy loved some curves.
Captain Billy was an engineer for the railroad and designed, especially here in Radford, designed a lot of the bridges, the train trusses, bridges across the river. And a lot of them are curved. One of them here is still standing. It curves back to another town even in the river. And when he built this house, a lot of the rooms, they don't have corners. They're rounded off. And he loved the tower, which that's what we call the house Ingalls Castle. And a man's home is his castle. That's the thing. And he was the architect to this house. And also Captain William Ingalls, Captain Billy Ingalls, was also the architect to the the Radford Presbyterian Church. And if you ever get the chance to go into that church, the stained glass windows pretty much look the same. This is a water register that is curved to fit the wall. And these are very rare registers. And the history of the lady in the mirror, it's like a reflection of a negative. And what happened was, Bess, we call her Bess, was sitting in a chair petting a cat, and lightning struck outside, and it was so bright, the light was so bright in this room that her reflection got burnt into the silver in the mirror. And you can not only can you still today see her, but you can see the cat that she's holding. And it's pretty spooky, but it's not really a scary thing. It's just like looking at a negative.
Is this house haunted, Sam?
You know, I've never seen a ghost, but it's always a good feeling here, and a nice warm feeling. And but who knows what lurks in the shadows? It's really hard to photograph. But she's holding a cat. Here's the cat and the cat's ears, and here's her chin and her nose and her the hat that she's wearing. And the first home, this beautiful hallway was all cherry, and when he built it back, the cherry was gone. Didn't have enough any more left on the farm. So this is oak, and a lot of the doorknobs were sterling silver, and so when he built the house back, they're just regular brass doorknobs. The fireplace goes underneath the steps, and they say it never did draw and produce no heat. Also, we have the Tiffany stained glass windows at the top. And a real nice feature is this water register. It's also circular to go with the contour of the tower. This is my favorite part of the house. It's the tower, and you can see the stained glass windows best on the inside or at nighttime with there's a light shine through it. And the chimney that's built into the tower that goes to the fireplace in the main hallway. At one time, what you see is plastered, stucco they call it, but at one time all this was wooden shakes, they call them. All that was wooden shakes with yellow brick, and then we got the limestone with the brownstone curvatures. Here we are in the upstairs hallway of Eagles Castle, or Le Riviere, which you prefer. And this is the tower with the stained glass windows and the nice, beautiful oak work. And when you're up here, this is the center point to all the bedrooms. Enter into the hallway. We got a sleeping porch, which has a bed in it. It's real nice in the summertime. And then we have Captain Billy's bedroom, and then we have two different guest rooms. This is an old Victrola here at the castle, and we have tons of old records. And I don't even know if this has a needle or not. I've never really seen this play. I don't think it does. But just one of the fine objects or old objects here at the castle, left over from Captain Billy. In the sleeping room, we have a bed that is identical to the bed that is in the Molly Brown Museum in Denver. And it's a cast iron brass bed. And very, very similar, or just like the bed that came out of the Molly Brown Museum. And I think her father slept in it.
Hold on a second. Molly Brown was a famous wife of a mine owner in Colorado, and she was a big advocate for the miners' rights. And after he died, she got into philanthropy, and
she survived the Titanic.
And then she got on the Titanic, and she survived the Titanic.
They called it Unsinkable Molly Brown. They made a movie about her with Debbie Reynolds was in the movie, and she was the type of person that would speak her mind.
So, there you go. You got a bonus Molly Brown lesson out of the Radford Castle.
Way down in the hollers of West Virginia.
This is Captain Billy's bedroom in Ingalls Castle. It faces the river, and it has this afternoon sunlight just pours in here. These great big windows. The furniture you see is all original to Captain Billy's. This is bird's eye maple set, and some of his trunks and some of his clothes are still here. Like I said, it's a family home, and we really never throw anything out. And it's basically just like a museum almost. Just everything is just still piled up. And this is a guest room. It's up above the library, and we have the original furniture that's it's still been in the family, and we have a fireplace over it, another fireplace, and this goes out to the hallway, and this is our sleeping portion. This is really good for letting nice air in, circulate the room. This goes into a bathroom and a utility room. This is like 1890s fireplace, and all the fireplaces do work with Italian tiles with a brass kickback.
I like that. What would you call that fan?
That's really just a decorative item. It's made of paper.
Oh, okay. So I guess that really has no,
It's real cool.
like, keeping sparks in or nothing.
No,
then.
it's just a colonial decoration.
Way down.
Here we are in it's a little porch that the children played in, and still has children toys and doll furniture. And we can see out towards the river, and this is the roof that goes to the porch around the house. And you can see a good example of the the slate roof that's on the house, and that's on this porch here. This is what's called Buchanan slate, which is quarried here in Virginia. It's probably the finest slate in our country, and it keeps its color. That's why it's so nice, and it's just like the quality you find in England.
Way down in the hollers of West Virginia to Tennessee live the shiners and blue collars.
This is another bedroom here at Ingalls Castle. It was a guest room. At one time, there was a door behind this wardrobe. There was a door there, we've discovered, and maybe a fire escape steps that went outside. We're not sure exactly. There's no photographs exist to tell us what exactly was out there. But we believe that there was maybe another porch or a set of steps through that wall there. The furniture is cherry, real nice, really predates the house. All right, we're going back into the servant quarters of the house, which that's the bathroom, and it's been restored, and we have made it modern and convenient with a nice shower and
It's okay. We all got to see your bathroom, Sam. We're happy you don't have an outhouse.
real nice restored sink.
Oh, that is a nice sink. Yeah, I thought I was going to be seeing all your toothbrushes and everything. I was like, I'm not trying to be all invasive on you.
hollers of West Virginia to Tennessee.
This is a back bedroom, and it was always used for whoever was here of Captain Billy that was cooking, or maybe they helped clean. But it is a servant's bedroom. The bed itself is this was Andrew Ingalls' bed from Ingalls Ferry across the river, and that was Captain Billy's twin brother. And it was in the attic. We brought it down here to show it off. This is the servant steps, and they're real steep. And I think they're just charming. They're just really fun to go down.
Yeah, you get to be one of the very few houses I've done that has servant stairs, and these are way bigger than the other houses. But it's like a secret passage, huh?
Yeah. Here we are in the dining room, Ingalls Castle, and we have a period light fixture with has a crown on top, which is so suiting for a house that's designed to be a Victorian castle, because a man's home is his castle, and the wallpaper reflects the Scottish castle theme in this room. It is all cherry, and most everything is original. A dumbwaiter, and it does twirl. And we keep flower arrangements in it now, but one time you put hot food in it, and then you could serve it. It's really a buffet piece. Rarely did you find it on a dining room table, but we use it on a dining room table for decoration. This is the windows all have inside shutters, and they go inside the wall, down into the wall. And when you want to pull them up, they're on a track, and all of them are still here, this whole entire window. And you could pull them up and shade the room, and and then they close back up real nicely. And they haven't been out for years, so they're down in there pretty tight. I think it's a nice feature to the dining room. This is an old buffet, which is Captain Billy, piece of furniture that belonged to Captain Billy Ingalls. And a lot of the original cut glass pieces are still here. And we are lucky they haven't gotten broken.
What's that right above it?
This is a plaster Victorian bust. It used to be in the attic. We brought it down here. Here we are in the parlor, and when I was a boy, this room was always closed off, and it was used for special company. And it has a beautiful cherry woodwork, and this beautiful chandelier, which is it's gas, electric, and candles. It's like made out of marble and brass. It's really unique. This house had a carbide generator, and which burned carbide, and it had water that trickled into it, and then it produced the foaming gas, and it was piped into the house. And pretty much we have a few chandeliers still from the gas era still here. One in the kitchen is a fine example, and this is a nice example where it was gas, and it's been modified, it's been electrified. And
so how the tungsten work? They pump it through?
Right. The pressure itself, the gas, it flowed into the house, and it burned a real bright light. Carbide was a real bright light. Coal miners used to use them on their helmets. And then also, what people don't realize is it smelled bad. It smelled like sulfur. And once it burned, you had an awful smell in the house. This is one of my favorite rooms of the house. This is the library. And maybe it's my favorite because there's no books in the library. I don't know. But a lot of archival things are kept here. And of course, we've got the Lady in the Mirror, which is always a tourist attraction. And we have an old desk and a lot of the original furniture that was here when Captain Billy lived here. course, since things have always been accumulated, old family items, this has still been in the family, but weren't really radio.
About what year you think that radio is?
I think about 1930s or so. Underneath the steps of one of the outbuildings. We were cleaning it out. It hadn't been cleaned out in 100 years. And when you fluffed all that junk out, it was really packed in there. And this was a cute car which I found underneath the steps way back into the crevices of that place. Probably 1900s or so. Alright, this is another chandelier, real nice chandelier in the house. It's also was designed for gas and has been electrified. And it's a beautiful feature to this room. It's a beautiful chandelier. Original shades, so. The cistern. The water was collected off the gutter, through the gutter system, off the roof, and into this, looks like a well. This goes down like 80 feet. And the handle's missing here, but you'd crank this and water would come up. But it'd be water that you'd clean with. You wouldn't drink it because, it did come off the roof. This is the oldest structure here on the property. It's the cook's house. It's where whoever cooked lived in it, like a resident. They went with the 1840s mansion that was right here that burned before Captain Billy built this mansion. And we have restored it with, we've recently painted it, and we have a new foundation underneath it. At one time it was really rotted on the ground. Groundhogs were coming up, and so we're real proud of our restoration to this little house. It's really charming on the inside with sweet little steps to go up, and it's just a sweet little outbuilding. This is the foundation to the old ice house, and this is the 1890s ice house. The earlier ice house was up here in these crop of trees, and the pits, basically you could tell where it was. Then when they didn't use it no more as an ice house, they put their trash in there, old bottles, and it's a real fun place to dig. The river is to the right, and before the hydroelectric dam was there, the river wasn't as it didn't have the flow that it has now, and it would freeze solid. And I guess the winters were colder. They would go out and saw big chunks of ice and bring it here to this ice house. Now this is the roof is gone off of it, and so it looks totally different structure than how it used to look in the old days. It had a big door into the roof that went down about 12 feet deep pit that they packed the ice in straw and sawdust, and it would stay all till way past the 4th of July. They'd have ice for making ice cream, or if anybody was sick, they had ice. But they didn't use it like today we use ice in drinks. They didn't do that back then.
All right, well, thank you, Sam, for showing us around your fabulous castle. It has been a pleasure, sir.
Thank you for coming, and please come back.
All right, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. For more mountain music, check out Clovis Draper's YouTube channel. You can find me on Facebook as Hood in the Woods, and you can find me on Instagram as Abandoned in Appalachia.